Hi, welcome to the Unreal Engine for Beginners tutorial. This this series is specifically for Unreal Engine 5, but I'm pretty sure that everything I say here could be actually done in Unreal Engine 4 too. But since we're moving into another generation of consoles and graphics, I mean everything's just really new, right? Unreal Engine 5 would be a better choice for everyone, so I suggest you to go ahead and download Unreal Engine 5 right now if you haven't already. You can just go ahead, type in Google, type in Epic Games Launcher, download the launcher, and from there you can easily download the Unreal Engine and launch the project. And in this specific example, I'm not going to go through that. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of videos for that. Just create how to create your own project in Unreal Engine 5 and how to choose what you want to do with your project. If you want to use it in an architectural project, you can do that. If you want to create a first person action shooter, if you want to create a third person, if you want to create a racing game, anything you want, actually, you can easily choose that in the project, create project section, which you can search in Google. So I'm not going to go ahead and do that. What I'm going to talk about in this lesson, though, is about how to create materials. And some people would say how to texture your entire scene. So if you see here, there are no textures in here. Actually, there are, but these are not the textures you want to use. Probably this would be the texture you want to use, but let's go ahead and create everything we want. So first off, for starters, you need to be using, I mean, all the time, every time that you create your project, make sure that you don't add the starter content with it. Um, Create the project without starter content, and then come here, add add feature content pack content, and add this one to the project. I've already added this one, so I'm not going to go ahead and do that again. There are some pre-made materials for you which you can use. I mean, let's see. Um, there's a wood in here which I can use on this one, but the wood's a little bit big, so I'm gonna go talk about this in the future episodes. It's a little bit in depth. But anyway, you have some textures in it, right? You have a material, you have some textures, you can go ahead and use this one on this. Bam, you have textures. So what if you don't want these pre-made materials or textures and want to use yours? Well, that's pretty easy. Create a folder. In this case, we've already had our materials folder. Let's call it materials. Right click and you have it here, materials. There are other options for materials like material function, material instance, material layer. These are some a little bit more in depth about materials, but all function the same. Don't worry about it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create a material. The naming convention should be M underline whatever you need for your material. In this case, will be test. So what is the test? Then we are here. So the first thing you need to know about materials in the material is the material type, the blend mode. In this one, it's set on opaque. Opaque is like, it's a solid. It could be metal. You can't really see through it. That's opaque. So if you want to create a metal, a floor, where you don't want it to transparent, you don't want it to fade it out, that's opaque. You have base color, which is just the color of your material. So, oh, I've done that by holding down 3 on your keyboard and then left click. So if you hook this one up to base color, it will be, you can change the color. Cool, right? So metallic is, yeah, exactly, controls how metal like your surface looks like. And hold 1 on your keyboard and left click. 0 means that it's not metallic at all. 1 means that it is metallic. I want it to be really metallic. 10 means that I want it 10 times more metallic, but in most cases it's just a value between 0 and 1. Hey, it doesn't do anything with 10. Yeah, it's just a value between 0 and 1. So I want it to be metallic. Roughness. Oh, by the way, if you want to use a texture for it, let me show you that. So for example, we have this material. These are the pre-made materials. And we have this texture here. So we can just um, drag this texture into our own material. So let's open that up. So this is the material that was pre-made for us, and it's included in the content, starter content. This is the alpha map. So here's a tricky part. Every texture contains 4 maps: RGB, red, green, blue, alpha. Alpha is what we use usually for roughness. Alpha is a value between 0 and 1. So this one here, we can have a mask, we can have a texture for it. So it means that this is 1 or pretty close to 1. This is pretty close to 0. Or is it? No. So black is 0, white is 1. So this is pretty close to 0, and this is pretty close to 1. Oh, yeah, exactly. I always get confused with that. So we have the alpha mask here, so we can use that in our roughness, for example. Roughness is how rough you want the material should look like, or how shiny, how reflective your material should look like. And look at that. It's definitely better than value. Let's see. 0 means that you want it really, really shiny. And this is what you get. But with this one, you have a little bit of mask going on. Or you can use it in metallic as well. Or we have a node called 1 minus. Right click, start preview node to see what we have here. Okay. So now we have some details in it. The places that are shiny are metallic as well, and the places that aren't shiny aren't metallic as well. So this looks cool. This is better than just numbers. Just look at it, how different it looks. Oh, by the way, 1 means that you don't want your surface to be shiny at all. But anyway, who wants that? I want this. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Okay, so the thing about 1 minus is that you have a lot of code in here. So if you go through them all, you see a lot of functions, pre-built functions. You can go ahead and create functions for you, but not right now. That would be really in depth. 1 minus makes the texture, it just reverses the texture. So since I want 0 for the roughness for my surface to be shiny, and I want 1 for my metallic to be shiny, then I need to use the mask for the metallic. No. I want them to use the mask for the roughness, and then if I want to use the same places to be shiny for the metallic and roughness as well, this one should be reverted. I mean, I hope you get it. If not, I'm gonna go in depth in some future tutorials. Don't worry about it. Okay, specular. Specular is always related to roughness. So let me show you in depth. So 0 means that we have no specular. The amount of specularity on non-metallic surface is a value between 0 and 1, default 10. Okay. Yeah, I have to show this one to you. So we have a really shiny material. That's a lot actually. Okay, so look at this one. That's the difference between specular 0 and 1, so probably half of it. So it makes the roughness go more shiny. So you should use these two together. Most of the times I'm like use the map for this one and just hook some point to specular and that's it. You don't need to worry about this. Emissive color is, I mean, all of them are like different tutorials. It's gonna take a while. Uh, so I'm just gonna be really, really short about everything. Um, Emissive is just, it makes it to be a light. I'm holding M for multiply, just multiplies it by everything. 10, just to show you. Yeah, it makes it a light by this color. Makes it really, really bright. Normal is a normal map, it just gives it a little bit of surface. Tangent, we don't really need to worry about what position. So you don't definitely need to worry about and these all of that. So hit apply and save. So we've talked about opaque, and we're going to talk about mask and translucent and all of the other ones in the next episode, and definitely different shading models. Um, and I believe that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and use our material in the surface that we've created. Yeah, we have a material in here. Isn't that cool? Let's use it everywhere. That's cool. So that's another thing that you will be learning in the future. This one's pretty scaled up in the x-axis, but this one's really not looking that bad. We'll fix this one in the future episodes. So until then, cheers.